used to be a beautiful, heavily forested place that we like to go. I mean, there was lots of stuff to see up there. There was some really pretty camping areas, some old cabins that were maybe not real historic, but they were fairly old, and they were just nice, fun things to go up there and see. We always took people up in there. Anyway, it's no longer much of a fun place to be, so it's quite devastated now, and just not going to get any better for another couple hundred years. Kind of sad to say. So we did a little recon up there, and here it is. That's where the Dixie fire spotted across the canyon over into the Grizzly ridge side. The crews deemed that to be steep and inaccessible, so they tried to do something to it, but they failed and they didn't go back. And that was the demise of Grizzly drainage.
Like a birch tree, like the tree out in front of my house in Idaho Falls.
This is going up the Grizzly Road. This is more of an underburn down here than anything. And this is Peel Ridge on the left. And burned pretty hot up on Peel Ridge. Burned up a lot of trees. Down here it's not so bad, but farther up the ridge is quite a bit worse. Just up above the private property now, starting to go up the canyon. So the spot we drove down before, there's probably a mining claim down here. Come down this little road. It used to be real pretty. Rock got knocked loose from the debris dam, burned out probably. Still some greenery up here, that's a good thing.
Look at that rock.
There's a big rock in the road.
Wow.
So far it's gratifying that we've gotten as much greenery here as I am seeing, which is surprising considering what we saw out in Red Clover Valley. So this is kind of nice that there's as many green trees left in here as there is. This is a place we've been to before. There was a little building over here. See if I can find a picture of it and put it up here. And I know I've got a picture of this old vehicle. It's an old, I don't know if it's a Jeep or what, but it's an old vehicle that was, I think it was more buried in the bushes when we were here before, but then again it's all burned off, so ferns are coming back. Not particularly old. Well, pretty well burned up, but certainly is better than I expected, so I'm not complaining. Well, not right now anyway. I do my share of complaining about the way this fire was managed, or mismanaged I should say, but I don't want to start on that. Little Grizzly Creek. Birds singing. There's a bear right over there. He's kind of watching us. Hey girls, why don't you guys get closer to the Jeep in case you have to get in? He's coming this way. He's right in there.
He's coming.
Yeah, get back, get in, you girls, get in. There he goes. No, he didn't go very far. He or she is not too frightened of us. Not exactly sure why, but it's actually been captured before and had a collar put on it. Let me get my other camera.
Oh. Judy K.
I'm good.
Oh.
He's down there.
There. And he's smelling where we were sitting.
Yep. He's gonna find that one nut you dropped. There used to be a little, I think it was a hunter's camp or something down here, and it was down this little road that's down below us, right there. And they had a stove and a spring over there and some building, you know, like a collapsed building. I'll dig up a picture and put it up here. Anyway, that's where it was. Sure doesn't look like it did. Little camping spot where people can camp down there. See the remains of the building right over in there. Little green and amidst the death and destruction. All the ferns are coming back, a lot of different things. And then there's a snow plant over here that's pretty. All these cabins are gone. I knew they would be. This drainage burned out pretty hot in places. There were several old cabins down here. This is one of them. I'll put a picture up here. There was another one that was like a garage or something up here. There was another one right back over here. We'll walk up there and look at it. So there were several. There was one right over in there. There were several up in here. They were well preserved. Shame to see this stuff burn. I think this was looked like a little garage or something. Can't really tell by looking at the debris for sure, but it was one of these buildings. If I find a picture of it that I took when I was here, I will put up here. There were several buildings here. Well, it looks like somebody might have tried to save this. Of course, this is what we used to call pencil hose. I don't know why you'd try to save a building with this small of a hose, but the hose is laying here all burned up. So maybe they did try to save some of this stuff. weren't successful, obviously. Pretty sad. You know, it's a sad statement about firefighting nowadays that failure to engage in certain circumstances with the idea that it's unsafe. I don't believe what you hear in the media, that these large fires are being caused by climate change. That is definitely not true. The strategy and tactics that the fire teams are using, and let me say one thing, I'm not faulting the initial tech folks on the forest. It's the incident management teams that come in here. This is incident management team 2 was the one that was managing this fire when Greenville burned up. They were also the ones that were managing the sugar fire when Doyle got burned up. And they were also the ones that were managing the Bear fire when it burned through all the way down to Oroville. So there's three different disasters, major disasters on this forest that happened during the time that Incident Management Team 2 had control of these fires. It's all because of failure to engage is based on the safety considerations, and I'm not advocating that people ought to put themselves in an unsafe situation, but let's face it, if you're not aggressive, and you have to mitigate your safety hazards as you go, but if you're not aggressive, this is what ends up happening. And the Plumas lost a lot of history due to this fire. I haven't really been able to get out and assess how much damage that some of the area over there around Frenchman Lake sustained. So I'll be getting over there this year, getting out there in the summer, seeing what it looks like. It's not going to be pretty, I'm sure. It's a crying shame. Don't like it. Here's that, what I think was a barracks. Again, I'll put a picture up here of what this looked like. I think I got a view from this angle. Anyway, it was a pretty big building. They have fire hose going to some of these that got burned up and melted. That's what this line is right here. Some sort of fire hose they had laying in here. Well, I give them credit for one thing. They did have this place plumbed to protect it. Firefighters did that one. They put that in here. Well, now that the ground's laid bare, you can see a lot of stuff. For one thing, there's a can dump right down here. We didn't find that before when we were here. And it looks like this must have been a placer mine of some sort. Those look like tailing piles there. I don't know if this was hydraulic. Looks like the way this hillside's been cut away, almost looks like a hydraulic mine of some sort. Same thing going back this way. And it's not particularly old. That's an interesting thing. I don't know if firefighters did that. It almost looks like stair steps. I don't know. This whole upper drainage of Grizzly Creek is completely nuked out. I mean, there isn't a green tree to be seen. It's pretty sad. And down there in the drainage, there's a few green trees, but for the most part, this is a nuke deal. And here's a contingency line that they put in, worthless. Okay, that's looking down the Grizzly Creek drainage. Goes right down in there. Here's the whole upper part of it. That's Mount Ingalls over there. Pretty much devastation as far as you can see. Pretty sad.